Herodotus, the first geographer and historian to systematize the Greek and Persian Wars, a historical event. He is a man who remains the father of history to this day by the ancient Roman orator Cicero. Herodotus traveled to various countries during his lifetime and wrote various mysterious stories about him. Some of them are very strange and remain a mystery. That's exactly what Herodotus wrote about the primitive tribe called Blemmyes in his book Histes. According to the records, in the eastern part of ancient Libya, in dense forested hills, there are ekphaloi without a head, cynocephaly with dog hair, and wild men and women besides many other uncool creatures. It is also the home of the Headless tribe, who are said to have eyes and mouth on their chest instead of headless. The primitive tribe, later named Blemmyes, was common to various ancient writings, starting with Herodotus's first mention. In 1363, Ranulf Higden drew a map depicting the location of headless people in Ethiopia. The accounts of the headless and peculiar tribes in Africa, such as the Blemmyes tribe in North America described in the Natural History of Pliny the Elder, were constantly mentioned in the writings of intellectuals. During that time, stories about mysterious creatures living in unexplored parts of the world were abundant. These stories spread throughout the world through the mouths of writers and travelers. Most of these stories were either baseless rumors or a kind of folklore derived from myths and legends. However, the case of the Blemmyes was different. Those who described and recorded the Blemmyes were not writers or travelers, but mostly respected historians and scholars whose achievements are still recognized today. Despite living in different countries, they provided similar accounts as if their statements were coordinated. Reports and sightings of these people continued for over 1,000 years. Isidore of Seville, the Archbishop of Seville and the last scholar of the ancient world, who studied the Hereford Mappa Mundi, a world map believed to have originated from eastern England, recorded that a standing Blemmyes in Libya had a face on their chest, and another person beneath them had eyes and a mouth on their shoulders. In addition, during the late Middle Ages, a world map emerged that placed headless people further east in Asia. Andrea Bianco's map from 1436 depicted headless people in India, located on a peninsula resembling a paradise on earth. Another map from the same period, created by Andreas Walsperger in 1448, recorded headless people in Ethiopia. In the post-medieval period, maps by Guillaume Le Teste depicted headless people and the dog-headed cynocephaly beyond the Himalayan mountains, among other examples of headless tribes worldwide. While these records mostly took the form of fragmentary accounts, the fact that these people were headless with eyes and a mouth on their chest remained consistent. That's not all. In the oldest French manuscript, The Travels of Jean de Mandeville, ugly people without heads but with eyes on both shoulders appear. The adjective headless is also used to describe them in this travelogue. However, it remains uncertain whether these strange tribes, referred to as Blemmyes, actually existed in Africa up until the medieval period, or if they were merely fictional descriptions based on ancient historical records like Herodotus. Modern scholars argue that the depictions of Blemmyes in various medieval maps and records were not descriptions of actual discoveries but elements added to enhance the mystery. On the other hand, some argue that they were depicted on medieval maps due to actual encounters. However, no information about the Blemmyes has been discovered since the late Middle Ages. So, were the Headless tribe, the Blemmyes, once a truly peculiar ancient species that existed, or were they extraterrestrial beings depicted before the medieval era? Those who claim that the Blemmyes were an ancient species argue that, considering their depiction with weapons like spears or shields, they were not mere illusions. Others suggest they could be extraterrestrial beings who underwent extreme anatomical modifications, raising their shoulders to an extreme height. However, apart from the shared statements, nothing conclusive has been revealed. Were they a unique ancient tribe that evolved in a distant past when they were indigenous people, or were they extraterrestrial beings that appeared before the medieval era?